What's going on, Instagram and friends, YouTubers, and everybody around the world? This is Kai Speaks, aka Mr. 215 to 305. I got my man Xavier over here, but before I introduce him, I just want to break down the ground rules. Just like I always do, that comment section below, make sure you keep that positive, keep the negativity out of here. We want everybody to feel safe to, add their opinions in their comments and questions as well. You know how it go. I'm gonna have some questions for Xavier, but feel free to ask the questions that you think I'm not asking, or just something that you want to know a little bit more about Xavier and what he does. Well, without further ado, let me pass the mic to Xavier, introduce himself, tell you a little bit about where he's from and what he do.
Yeah, so hometown kid, Miami, Florida. Yeah, I discovered that I love fiction let's go back to the history. I was named after Professor Xavier.
Okay.
Yeah, from X-Men. So it runs in my family. My family loves fiction and comic book stuff, and just escaping in general. And I think that has to do with family history. My roots are in Georgia, so I'm not from anywhere else. You get what I'm saying? Because Miami, growing up, I always ask them. I get the question: Are you Haitian? Are you Jamaican? Are you even Cuban, Dominican?
Like, that's a possibility too.
Yeah, because everybody else is. No, I'm Black American, so that could be one reason why my family loves to escape into fiction, because our roots. My great grandmother is half Cherokee or something. She's half Indian, but I don't know which tribe. So
y'all kind of like use the comic books, just the fiction period, just to escape from the rest of.
I mean, even my grandmother is 66, and she watches superhero movies.
Oh, so
my auntie watches. My little brother. I mean, it's
definitely a
family thing.
So do y'all like when the next best movie come out that y'all all been waiting for? Does it become like a family outing?
Nah, that's how much we love superheroes. We all go watch it on our own because we don't want to wait. Because we don't want to wait for no one else.
Wait for everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. You made sure you had the whole day to
see Black Panther. Man,
you made sure you had the whole day. You said I want to be in there by myself.
Yeah. And it was still people in there.
And I know you was mad.
It was still a lot of people. And I went to Southland. For people who's not from Miami, Southland isn't. Southland is like, you go to Southland, that dirty mall, But I was raised in Southland, and it was still a lot of people in there. And I think the showing I went to was like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and it was a lot of people.
Really? You said you went like 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. You gotta go like 10 o'clock in the morning if you don't want to be in there.
Yeah, but I gotta work.
Yeah.
Gotta make a living, gotta pay these bills.
Yeah, I remember. Okay, so I got the first question for you. And again, we got people tuning in. Hello, everybody who just tuned in, sending the waves. I'm trying to get y'all the waves in there. But, we just kicking it off. This is Xavier. If you missed it, I got the first question for him. And, of course, you can ask questions as we go on. So what made you want to do manga writing at first? I know besides your whole family's background in fiction, what made you personally want to get into writing mangas?
Well, I started poetry writing. So I started poetry because I just wrote because I was angry as a kid, like most of the time. So when it stopped being fun. So I went to short story writing. After I got good or people started to like it, the pressure started to come, it stopped getting fun. I went to comic book writing. And then people liked my scripts. They were pressuring me, friends and family members to go get an artist to put it out there. Then it stopped getting fun. And now I do manga writing because now I still do all. But the reason why I'm more focused on manga writing is because you cannot make mangas unfun. Manga's supposed to be goofy and inspiring at the same time, but it's at the core of it. If it's not a fun read, no one wants to cry when they read a manga.
Right.
You may want to cry when you read poetry, when you read a short story, a novel, or even a comic book like Walking Dead. You know what I mean? That's a comic book. Preacher is another comic book. Those mediums, they're not. You can tell a solid story in those mediums. Manga, not so much. You just want to have a fun ride. You want to be like, oh, that's so cool. He can do that. you know,
Right.
and that's it. Cool abilities, you know, cool friends, and yeah.
So would you say that's the difference between? So what is the real difference between a manga and a comic book?
Oh, that's a lot of differences. Okay, so one thing about a comic book is a novel just in images, pretty much, and there's no, you know, all that filler like Jan walked into the room and she had anxiety. You know, that's horrible writing, by the way. But you know, I'm just giving an example. So that's what a comic book is. It's a story with substance. You know, it's like a novel in images. Manga writing is whatever you want, basically. Manga, for example, if you want to write a character who basically dreams he's a superhero in his dreams, and every night he goes to sleep and he's a superhero. If you want that to be your series, that can be your series. You can get away with that in manga. You can get away with anything in manga as long as it's fun.
And it's still typically more pictures, a lot of pictures though, right? Or is it written in like a novel form where it's mostly words and you're reading it like a book?
Nah, manga, they rely way more on expressions, and intuition. You know, so they leave a lot of things unsaid. So, you know, let me get to the point where I'm a manga writer now, but I write short stories and comic book writing. But one thing I learned about for me is that when it starts being fun, my craft is not good. You know what I mean? Like, you know, my work isn't good. You can tell something's missing. So I'm trying to get that back. When I come back to my short story writing, my novel writing, you know, I'm trying to get that back, that fun, lighthearted, don't take it so seriously, and just write. And if you have to make a second, third, fourth, fifth draft, that's okay. But don't take it so seriously because people like your work. Right. Write for yourself. So manga, I don't have that issue, so I write manga more now. Okay. But I'm still writing short stories. I come up with at least 4 ideas for a short story every day. So. And
then like, what are some of those things that? Is it like a method that you use, or is it like certain things that you do to get that fun back in your writing, even when you know that there's pressure added that, or you know those things are still present that didn't make it fun at some point in time? Is it something that you do personally to, you know, just kind of like sidetrack that and put it behind you and say, you know, I'm gonna make this fun for me regardless?
Well, the key that I'm trying to get for me is that when I write, okay, I just got an artist, you know, on Friday. I told you. But when I was writing my manga scripts, which I have like 5, they were never meant to see the light of day. They were just supposed to be for me. I was having fun. I was never supposed to get an illustrator to illustrate it. So I think that's what propelled me to write poetry back in the day. No one's supposed to read those. Okay. My short stories, you know, my comic book scripts, I even had some drafts for novels. No one's supposed to read those, so I guess that's the point I have to get to. But it's kind of unrealistic to have that type of mindset when I want to make writing my career. Right. Of course, you know, somebody's going to read your work. So, you know, I'm just going through that little mind stage right now, you know, but I'm going to get it. So tell us a little bit about that process for you finding an artist, which congratulations, by the way. Yeah, you telling me how hard it was looking for an artist. Bruh. Tell us how that was like, just the whole process of looking everywhere for an artist, and the perfect artist. 2 years ago, let me tell you, 2 years ago, I found an artist. So he was a tattoo guy, whatever. And he was just so interested, and he had a whole bunch of ideas. He made my main character basically look iconic, seriously. It was just good. And we were rolling. He could freehand, he could do everything, bro. He was a great artist. We worked together for at least 3 months. And I had just got hired at Comcast. And I was like, man, you know, I'm good. You know, that's when I was living at home. So I'm working at Comcast, a career job, living at home. Hey man, we can do something. So one day, he just stopped, you know, answering the phone. Now this is after I bought him, you know, for all you artists out there, you know what Copic markers are. Copic or Copic markers, I don't know the term. But every manga artist is Copic or something. It's like, even not just manga artists, but comic book artists, they use that too. They're very expensive. I spent like $400 on it. So just break it down just a little bit for the people who don't know what it is. Just like, just as easy as you can. Okay, if you want great quality, you have to buy these carpet markers. That's why they're so expensive, like $400.
Okay.
So, yeah, I bought them for him, and not to mention, now I'm not bitter or anything, but he didn't have a car, so I'm taking him and his lady home. You know what I'm saying? But it was a partnership. But I did all this stuff for him, and then one day he just disappeared. He wasn't working at tattoo shop anymore. He blocked me from social media.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Just for like no reason at all.
No reason. And that's after I gave him the carpet markers.
Oh so, wow. Yeah, and you bought
and in
the
advance.
Markers? And you bought the carpet markers?
Yeah. And in advance, so he could basically you can have faith that I'm serious. So when that happened, I was like, you know what? I'm done trying to collaborate with people. The next time I collaborate is gonna be with a professional artist, someone that's known in the industry, whatever. And I was just bitter and angry for a long time. So that's why I just got this artist now, you know, on Friday, and we've been hitting it off. And you know, he has professional credentials. He's done things professionally. He's actually a stay-at-home artist, so all he does is draw. And he's not giving me an outstanding pay rate. You know what I mean? And I've actually prayed about this. I prayed that, you know, I can find an artist, you know, because I wanted to come out with these scripts to see, will I still have fun writing manga once it's out and people are reading it and critiquing it and telling me, you know, what they like and what they don't like. So, yeah, and I finally got him, and I'm happy. And we're working now, you know, and hopefully in a month or two I can show you something and show you guys something if you'll have me back. And and yeah, now, so I'm excited. Yeah.
Explain how, because that has to be very important. Like just as important as it is for a manga to have a good writer, it is probably just as equally important to have a solid artist behind that. So how important would you say it is for you to find that perfect artist, if it exists, to really bring your visions to life? Yeah, that's very important. I mean, you know those artists that go, they write a chapter or they draw something. Oh, go fund my next chapter. Oh, go fund my exhibit. You know what I mean? It's like, do you take your art seriously or not? Why does everyone need to fund you? You know, so the artists is either look forward or like driven. They're gonna draw whether anyone's paying them or not. Right. And so that's the number one thing I look for. Way before I look for artistic talent and back, you know, angles and stuff like that. But it's very important mainly because an artist has to look at your story, your script, not your story, your script, your dialogue, the characters you have imagined in your head that you wrote on paper, and be like, you know what, this is how it would look on paper. This is how you entertain an audience. That's why it's important to have good artists, because if you don't have that, if you're both amateurs, that's okay. But if you've been writing for a long time like me and you actually know what you want, an artist can listen to you, read what you wrote, and then be like, you know what, I get it, I'm gonna give you what you want, but I'm also gonna give you a professional look to it, you know, not a different look, you know, to entertain what audiences want to see, what is appealing visually. So basically you're saying you're not just looking for people who can draw, like people who can draw well. You're looking for someone who can not only draw well, but be able to visualize your vision as well, to put that on the paper.
I really like collaborations, but yeah, I like collaborations. I love like, okay, what do you like? Okay, cool. I like that, but you know what? Let's do this. We meet in the middle. You know, so that's then cool. It feels like a unique project. I just don't want someone to see it from my point of view and be like,
and then it's like they're just working for you instead of like working together.
Working. That's why I love collaborations. I'll pay you for a collaboration, but I don't want you to just come in and draw my shit and leave. Like, you can if you're good enough and you have a good name enough, and if it's cheap enough, if you just want to draw my shit and leave, okay. But you know, I like collaborations. I'll pay for a collaboration.
Okay. That's pretty dope. So we got our first question. So we're gonna take a break from my side and we're gonna get into the audience questions. Miss AKA85 asks, how have you considered presenting collaborators with a contract of terms and conditions?
I used to do that a lot. I don't do that anymore. Mainly because artists, man, I don't know. I'm from Miami and I like to work with artists from Miami. This new artist is from Spain, but in the beginning, I was working for artists with Miami, and they come at you with the contract stuff off rip. And it's like, okay, we can talk about contract. What do you like? What do you see yourself going? Where do you see your art in the next 5 years? So I really don't come at people like, okay, if anyone knows Leandre, he's an artist from Broward. He paints, and he has a clothing line called Pray for Leandre. I mean, we hit it off, man. We hit it off from as soon as we met, and I met him at a warehouse party, and we just talked about yada yada. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could collab. Maybe we could. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then once we got to the contract details, it was like, you know what, bro? I'm not trying to do no commercial work. You know what, bro? I'm not trying to do this. You know what, bro? I'm not trying to do that. So now I don't really approach people with contract details and the terms. No, you feel me? I approach people with, hey, would you like a collaboration? Okay, we get into the contract details way later after I figure out what your head is at, you know? Mm-hmm. Would you like to collaborate with someone? Mm-hmm. You know, and most, like the artist now, he was like, well, I'll collaborate with you if I like your story. Read my script. Mm-hmm. Boom, he liked it, we collaborate now. Now we talking about contract details, you know? Okay. Yeah, I don't start off a conversation with, yeah, bro, I'll pay you this, bro. Nah. I used to do that though, don't get me wrong, but you know, some artists are different. You gotta fill out the vibe. You know?
Fill out the vibe. That's the best way to cap off that question. So our next question is, what is one of your long-term goals with your writing?
Bro, like, you know how Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, it's like, I want someone to say, I'm going to be the white Donald Glover. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, okay. Like, yeah, I want to be Stan Lee, but I want people to say I'm going to be the white Xavier Holloway. You know what I mean? Right, like, okay. That's my long-term goals, you know. I want to cross over in every medium. I want to have my own publishing company that ranges from manga to films. And in the middle is novels, because novels is what carries on longer. You know, films do too, but a novel, you know what I'm saying? Something about a novel that's always going to be there centuries later. So my long-term goals are basically providing a space where a writer, a serious artist, a serious visionary, a serious filmmaker can basically do what the hell they want, but believe that they're better than everyone else. Not just, oh, this is my vision. I just want to create what I want to create. Nah, but actually have substance, you know, teach something to the youth. You know what I mean? But also believe that you're the best person making films, writing novels, whatever, writing poetry. You know, that's basically my long-term goal. Basically being a beacon for, you know, a lot of black kids in the hood and ghettos, you know, to look at books and look at writing as something that black people do instead of just sports and music. Because I remember I used to tell people, you know what, I want to build a bookstore in my home, you know, in my home neighborhood. He was like, why would you do that? No one's gonna go. And I'm like, bruh, you know what? That's why you don't do shit. You know what I'm saying? That's why you don't build nothing. You know what I mean? Because, oh, no one's gonna go. Say I gotta close it in 6 months. There's gonna be one kid who goes there for every day for those 6 months. And maybe she will do it, or maybe he will do it. I may not be the one to establish, you know, the bookstore chain in ghettos, but I can, you know, inspire the person who does. It's not about me all the time.
And that's such a sad statement to make, because it's like that's the same premise to why we don't read, because everybody thinks it's like it's
not cool to read. Yeah, bro. Come on, like, bro. Like sometimes you just can't go off of what people are telling you no more. You actually gotta dive in and read it for yourself. If anybody should read, it's us, man. Come on now. If anybody should read, it's us. There's so much history we got out there, you just don't know. And so many, okay, people don't even know. When you go to Barnes and Nobles, there's 3 black writers on the wall of fame. Like in Kendall, it's 3 black. It's Hurston. What's the poet name from Harlem? Hughes.
Langston Hughes.
And Toni Morrison. They're on the wall of fame. Like, you know what I mean? These are 3 black writers at Barnes and Nobles. You know what I mean? And come on now.
Okay, wow. I haven't been on.
I think the person who's writing the Black Panther comic right now won the National Book Award in 2015. Come on now. And he's from Harlem too.
Harlem got the heavy hitters in terms of writing.
I know. We need to step it up down south. We need to step it up down south. But yeah, man, we can do anything, bro.
But you know, you gotta see this to the.
And we are the most creative people on the planet. Look at us all around the world, bro. Come on, if we just put something into literature, they don't. I mean, a lot of people don't even know. I didn't find out till I went to college that African literature was like outdates British literature.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, Moors and all.
Yeah,
back all before them.
Yeah, so it's stuff you don't know if you don't read. That's why the media makes it, bro. You gotta read, bro. You gotta read. Just read. Just read. Ain't nobody telling you to read, you know, a textbook book or, you know, a book that, you know, you think you should read or what's popular. Read what you want to read. If it's manga, who cares if it's goofy? Read it.
Read what you enjoy reading.
If it's nonfiction, if it's a romance, read it.
Even if you enjoy history books, you ain't got to worry about people saying, "Oh, that's not cool," or "You reading that?" Like, read that. Read that book.
Shit, read subtitles. Right? Watch your anime and read the subtitles.
So, like, do you get writer's block a lot?
Yeah.
And what are some of the things that you do to get out of writer's block?
Writer's block is just
it's inevitable.
Yeah, but it's mainly unwanted pressure. Like, you don't want this fucking pressure. Like, damn, I don't want this on me right now. I don't want to create a story right now so people can read it. I promised this person I would have a story in a week. Why haven't I done this? You know what I'm saying? I look at everyone else. That's why I stay off social media a lot. I look at everyone else and they're doing this, they're doing that. I'm depressed now because I can't do anything, or my stories aren't good enough. That's where you really get writer's block from, just pressure. But writer's block, I would say, I think the universal way to get rid of it is to go back to having fun. Or doing something else, writing music. I used to write music a lot in the beginning. Since I was writing poetry in the beginning, I used to just write music when I had writer's block and poetry.
So like rap or something more smooth?
Yeah, man, I want to know how to sing. My favorite artist is Michael Jackson.
For real?
So, I want to know how to sing. I wish I could sing, man.
So I write this. I used to dress up like Michael Jackson.
Who didn't?
But I used to go out in public, like to the stores.
Oh, now you tripping.
And just dance like to the stores.
You tripping on that one. You can dance, but I don't know about dressing like them. But you had the military. You had the glove or the military jacket.
Nah, I had the. I more so had the high waters with the white socks and the.
Oh, those still tight, bro. If you do them right, bro, them still tight right now.
So all right. So matter of fact, you got the shirt on right now. I was going to ask you about your LLC, because last time I was talking to you, you was in the process of trying to form your own LLC or incorporating. How has that process been? And we can see that you got your shirt on. How did that go? What did you have to go through to get that LLC?
It was at first scary, because you know, when no one in your family and no one you know owns anything, is like, how do I get an LLC? And the reason why I do everything that I do right now is because this man named Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T. the hip hop preacher, you know, he was a homeless dropout and now he has a PhD. So basically he helped me get over the fear of, you know, just doing what I wanted to do. So the LLC was pretty quick. I got it the same day. You know what I mean? So, you know, you have this fear like, damn, man, I'm gonna have to pay this. That's another thing I have to get over, like, you know, damn, that's a lot of money. Will I get back that money? Don't worry about that. You know? Do you want to have an LLC? Yes. Do you want to have a manga? Yes. You know what I mean?
So get it done.
Get it done. Just don't be afraid. So the LLC was very easy. Make sure whatever business you opening is the right name you want to name it, and it's what you want to do. Because once you get that LLC, you gotta do a lot of stuff before you even do it. You know, you gotta get permits to sign. You gotta get a lot of stuff signed. And then every year, if you don't keep up with it and send your documents back to the state of Florida, some bids, my bad. They will basically fine you like $400.
Yeah, because you got to be in compliance every year.
Yeah, every year. So make sure that you're not opening. You're not opening a business because it's fun or you feel like you can be an entrepreneur. Make sure you open a business because you want to. You want to do this. You're not afraid. And
you know, I tell people all the time, like, you know, take your time. There's really no rush. Like when I was in the process of starting GoldenKey Foundation, GoldenKey was really just an idea with the name, the GoldenKey Foundation, that I was just showing around on campus while I was still at Cheney. and I wasn't really in no rush of like, you know, making it a non-profit corporation because like I didn't have all the things mapped out yet. But then some people give you the approach of it doesn't matter if you have all the things mapped out with, just get it started. Yeah. But then in terms of that, when it comes down to it, some people don't have the money. You know, that's just the reality. Some people don't have the money. Yeah.
Get a loan.
Yeah. Some people don't have the
borrow 155. Get 75. Borrow the other 75 and get another 5 somewhere. You know what I mean? I get it. You may not have the money, but it's 155. It's not a lot of money.
Yeah. It's just not, especially when it comes down to investing in yourself, in your brand. So, you know, we didn't catch it. What's the name of your brand?
So this is my logo. This is white letters, so you can't really see it. It's supposed to be black letters. But the name is Innovative Comics. And right here is the title of the manga that I'm writing that is now getting illustrated. It's called Greed. So, yeah.
Not to add that pressure, because I know you're talking about the pressure.
Nah,
do you know, like, do you have like an expected date in terms of like when you want to release the manga?
Well, one thing I've learned is that fans, they want to have consistency. If they like something, they're not trying to wait 3 months. They're not trying to wait. You know what I mean? So. After I get at least 3/4, because it's a 4 one-shot that I'm, writing right now, and only the one-shot part 1 is getting illustrated now. But once I get 3/4 of the one-shot illustrated, yes, I will release it because I want it to be an experience. It's coming out. Next Wednesday. It's coming out next Wednesday. You know what I mean? I want the fans to actually, be able to rely on my product and on my work.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't want them, hey, give me 3 months and then I gotta delay it again for another 2 months, But hopefully, you guys be able to see something in the next 3-4 months.
Now once that's released, where would people find it? Like you have to get it published, you have to get copies made and everything like that. Have you like already started looking in terms of
you'll be able to find it online. I have a website. It's called Innovative Comics Online.
Okay.
.com. So, but what I really like personal interactions. So, I really like putting it in people's hands for free. And just letting them know, hey, check out this work. I think you'll like it if you like manga. And if you don't like manga, maybe you'll see something in here that make you like manga, make you think twice about manga. Okay. So, but basically, when it's finished, you'll be able to find it online. It'll be everywhere. It'll be on Comixology, be on Google Play. It'll be on my website. So,
Google Play, is that like an app where you can
Google
read?
Books, my bad.
Oh, Google. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, Google Books.
All right. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah.
So people can find it on Innovative Comics, your website.
Innovative Comics Online.com.
Okay. Oh, it's called Innovative Comics
Online.com.
All right. So I'll make sure to include that in the YouTube when I make the edits too.
Okay.
So they can find it on Innovative Comics Online.com. They can also find it on Google Books. And then Comixology, that's like, is that like a big market where you can find other comic books and mangas?
Yeah, Comixology is where mangas, comics, all of them, DC, Marvel, Shonen Jump, everything, they're all on there. Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty a good marketing platform.
You can even advertise and have it on the first main page for a couple of hours. Yeah. So when they come on the page, they see your comic.
So can you also use them as a publisher as well? Do they do publishing?
Not really. It's something called Submit, but they don't really do publishing. Now, Image does publishing. Image is DC and Marvel. You can't send your work to DC and Marvel. They're going to send it right back. They don't do that. You know what I mean? Right. But Image, you can actually send, self-published work. That you created in your basement. And if they like it, they will publish it and pay you. So. And you get to keep, I think, like 60% of the royalties. So Image created Spawn. If any of you guys know about Spawn, you know about Spawn, right?
Spawn?
The black superhero who was like made a deal with the devil and shit. So yeah, they created Spawn. They created another famous comic book too. Oh, Walking Dead. I'm stupid.
Oh, really?
Dead. Yeah, Walking Dead is from.
See, you know, I didn't even know that. I knew this before you just said it, but for the longest, I didn't know that Walking Dead started out as a comic book, and I was introduced to it.
Hollywood
on AMC.
doesn't have stories, man.
Yeah.
Hollywood sucks right now, man. They get all these stories from source material, man. They have no imagination in Hollywood right now.
Wow. Yeah, but Walking Dead, that was my favorite. That was my go-to show on AMC. I only liked it though when I could binge watch it. Like once I caught up, I found myself not catching up to it every Sunday, being in the house, you know.
Yeah.
So it's like I got to be able to binge watch it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it was a comic for the longest. So you talked about DC and Marvel. Out of the two, which one would you say is your favorite in terms of producing what you like?
DC, because Marvel just produced Black Panther. You know what I'm saying? I like the Winter Soldier, but DC, you know, they're the king of comics, man. No one writes comics like DC Comics, man. Period. I think it's embedded in their characters. Their characters have so much substance, and I think the reason why their movies aren't working is because these characters don't have substance in the movie. They're so different. No, DC characters.
So you're saying their movies don't work out as well as the comics?
Yeah, because it's like, okay, this is not the character I love, I read, I buy. I pay $2.99 to read every Wednesday. You know, this is not that character. And they're trying to catch up to Marvel. That's why they're losing. You cannot replicate what someone else does.
So you kind of gave us like a split answer. So you would say DC on the comic side, but when it comes down to film
DC
production,
period.
DC period still? Yeah. Even
Marvel just created Black Panther, bro. Like, honestly, I'm not a Marvel fan. I'm a Black Panther fan. You know what I mean? And I'm a Winter Soldier fan. You know, the Captain America second movie. But I'm not really a Marvel fan. You won't see me breaking my neck to go see a Marvel movie.
So would it be any other things that pop out besides, you know, the character development that makes DC stand out so much more than Marvel in your opinion?
No. I mean, I would just say that, you know, DC characters are inspiring. They're not supposed to be relatable. You know, inspiring people aren't supposed to be relatable. That's another thing people have to remember. Oh, I don't really like that person or like that celebrity, or like that, you know, athlete, or whatever, or sing, whatever, because I'm not relatable to him. He's too good, or he's too nice, or whatever. But inspiring people aren't supposed to be relatable, because that's why they're inspiring. You wish you can be like that one day. You know what I mean? Like,
but you don't think it might have been like one thing within that person that you might have saw within, like you saw yourself within that person, which has also helped make them inspiring to you? Like, for instance, like LeBron James is obviously inspiring to a lot of young boys right now that play basketball.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course, they're not in terms of skills at LeBron James level, but perhaps he's so inspiring to them because of where he came from in terms of where they come from.
But how is LeBron James relatable to anybody in basketball history? He was famous when he was 15, 16 years old. He was driving Hummers to high school. Black Hummers, like tinted, all black Hummers, you know. And he was on the cover of ESPN before he played his first NBA game. He had a mega $1 million shoe deal before you get what I mean? Like, that's not relatable, bro. Like, you can say he's relatable because he's good and you're good. He's the best on his team, you're the best on your team. Fine. If you want to think about it that way, I guess he's relatable, but he's not really relatable. Michael Jordan isn't relatable. Michael Jackson damn sure ain't relatable. He's been a icon since he was like 10 years old. You know what I mean? So
it's not too
many inspiring people.
Michael Jacksons.
Is Warren Buffett relatable? Is Bill Gates relatable?
Nah.
Those people aren't, but they're inspiring because of what's his name, that Steve Jobs. I don't know his story, but he wear, just like Mark Zuckerberg, these people wear the same stuff every day. Do you wear the same stuff every day?
Did you know what I just found out about Mark Zuckerberg though? His last name really Greenberg, and he's the great nephew of one of the Rockefellers.
Oh, Illuminati.
So it's like he always had the money.
Here we go.
And the movie is not as
just like it is. Are you going to tell me next that all the presidents are related? Which is true. They all are.
Until you got to Barack.
Nah, he's related.
He's
related. He's related.
Hey,
he's related to someone. No, it's only one president that wasn't related to all the rest of the presidents, and it's not Kennedy. But yeah.
Who was it? Hoover?
I don't remember. But I just know when the little girl made the little thing on the news, I remember one president was left out.
All right, so what's it like being a writer? Like, do you walk in like your daily routine? Like, do you walk into stores and you're just like a very observant person because you're like looking for new things to write about in terms of like, I remember you talking about like giving certain things personification or writing about like emotions and things. Do you observe people's emotions to make you a better writer of describing emotions on paper?
I mean, yeah, but now it's so second nature, I don't even realize that I'm doing it. But being a writer is like being at home. You like being at home, you like being alone, you know, and you just like writing and coming up with ideas and then cursing yourself because what you just wrote was trash. You know, writing can be very depressing sometimes, but a writer isn't a person who think, well, I'm not gonna say that. Most writers do think differently, but you know, it's not like, you know, a bunch of rainbows and airplanes, you know what I mean? It's not, there are, you know, it's not that creative. You can learn to be creative, you know, so, but yeah, I do study people a lot, but not on purpose. That's just.
Nah, I do. I think a lot more people do it more than they know. You know, when you go places, you just like, cause me, I'm the type of person like when I go to a party or if I go to an outing or if I'm just like at a restaurant, you know, people will look at me like, why are you always looking around while you're eating? I like to be aware and observe the things that's going on around me. I like to see people's facial expressions when they hear that the barista at Starbucks doesn't have almond milk. Little stuff like that. So it's like, you do right. So you do the same thing. Yeah. You right. I forgot you right. So is that now that you pointed it out that I didn't take into consider that I'm right? I'm wondering do you think that a writer's thing or is that just a people's thing period that we like to observe?
I think it is a writer's thing because some people are just la-di-da-di-da. I mean,
oblivious.
They just do everything is
like
on
Miami
cloud.
drivers.
Yeah.
Like Miami drivers, they don't know what's going on.
They don't even look. They just turn right.
Just turn right.
Boom.
Oh, I gotta turn here.
Boom! Like they don't look. No, it's horrible, bro.
Yeah.
But I think that maybe is a writer's thing. My two roommates are all creative people. One makes those are my people. But one makes music. He's trying to get me to write his story now. He wants to do a manga too. But one makes music, but he's in the military.
Okay.
So I feel like that is the reason why he's so observant. And the other one, he also writes novels and he also makes music and he also writes comics. He does everything. But he's not so observant. He is when he's talking to someone. He can tell, he's a good judge of character. But so far as, you know, when he walked into a room, did he study everything in that room? Not so much, but he's a good judge of character though.
Yeah, I see people joining in for the first time. What's going on, TJ, Nye, Young Scruggs? Thank you for tuning in. I got my man Xavier here today, who is a manga comic. He's a writer for the most part. He does it all. So he's just talking about his experience with writing, and he recently just started his own LLC with Innovative Comics. Check him out at innovativecomicsonline.com. .com or .org?
Nah, .com.
.com. Yeah, so check him out. You know, he got a manga coming out pretty soon. You know, we out here trying to present different talents that our youth can see our talents. Because a lot of people overlook certain things as talents. So, you know, to go on to the next question, have you ever really thought into screenplay? And before we go there, I also want to remind y'all the comment section is very much open. You can ask as many questions as you like. I got my other phone right here. I'm gonna get into the questions in a little bit. But have you ever thought about screenplay writing next as one of your ventures?
Yeah. I want to write in every medium. I would actually do a play. I want to be a playwright one day too. I love writing. I love telling a story because that's a way to escape. Because you know, some stories, not all my stories, but half of my stories, the good guy wins, and that's not real. That's not real life, you know. So I love telling stories where the good guy wins.
So are you know, with technology advancing, do you prefer writing with pen and paper, or do you do a lot of typing on your computer?
It doesn't matter now because I'm so busy. I can be at school or at work, and if I get an idea, I'm gonna get on my phone and write it. But if I'm home in my room, in my corner in my room, I want to write on a pad. You know, I want to use a pen and a pad. I don't want. I hate technology. I really hate technology. I just think it's too distracting. You know. I remember one time when I was really serious about my writing, and I promised my mother that I was going to finish, because I wrote this short story and I wrote half of it, and it was called Harsh. She loved it, and before, you know, when I used to talk about writing, she was like, okay, Zay, whatever. But after I finished Harsh, she was like, you know what, I believe you can do it. I believe it. And she let her best friend read it. So I remember they were calling me, Zay, when is the next one gonna, whatever, right? So I took my whole TV out my room. So I don't go to sleep as soon as my head hits the pillow. So I'm like, okay, what can I do? All right, let me get up and write. Let me write for just 30 minutes and maybe I'll go to sleep. 30 minutes turn to an hour, turn to 2 hours. And that's how I completed my writing. You know what I mean? And that's before I had to get up 4 o'clock in the morning though. This was like 2-3 years ago. But yeah, so I feel like if you're gonna write, you need to turn off your phone. Take the TV out of the room, or go to a room without TV. Do not go to Starbucks unless that works for you. Go to a library or a Barnes and Nobles. But you really need to focus and be in the moment, because that's the only way to be by yourself, to come up with something that's unique. You know, and 9 times out of 10, it's going to be trash because it's your first draft. But you have to be alone, and you have to write by yourself. You have to just, you know what I mean, just be in your own bubble. You know what I mean? That's worked for me. I haven't done that in a while because of my schedule, so I have to write when I can. Now, but that's the most. I did a lot of good work when I could do that.
Now I know we talked about you. An ant?
Yes.
I know we talked about you finding an artist and everything like that. But one thing we didn't talk about was, and this was one of our audience members, TJ. He asked us, do you also draw? That was one of the things that we didn't ask you. So I know you're looking for an artist and you found an artist, but do you draw on the side, or do you work on your drawing skills as well?
I tried to draw. It was like when I tried to sing, it was horrible. It was horrible. You know, I believe I can learn how to draw, but when I'm drawing, I could be writing. You know, I could be doing things that I'm actually decent at. You know, drawing's gonna take me a minute to learn. You know, some people have that talent where they draw something and it's horrible, and then you look at it, somebody who can't draw, like, I wish I could do that. Right. I draw stick figures.
I draw stick figures.
Yeah. So, nah, I don't try to draw.
Yeah, I don't know how to draw, but I do know how to draw a ninja. Only because in 5th grade somebody taught us this really easy way to draw a really nice looking animated ninja, and I was like, okay.
I'm gonna draw me a ninja.
Yeah, I'm gonna draw me a ninja. That's all I'm gonna draw. Ninjas.
Like, yeah. Nah, I can't draw.
Okay.
Save my life.
So what do you study? All right. So what do you study at school right now?
English. Yeah.
And you have a minor, concentration, or anything?
No, I should minor journalism, but no, I don't have a minor.
Okay. And do you feel as though in school now, being an English major, that has helped in a way develop you in writing? No.
School can't teach me how to write.
That's why I asked you.
I'm taking this creative. I've taken 3 creative writing classes since I've been in college. I've learned nothing. And you know, the funny part about creative writing is they judge your writing. Now most of your creative writing teachers are people who've never, okay, I ain't gonna say never been published, but they publish academic articles, not fiction. And if they have published, is in, you know, these magazines no one knows about. So how can you judge a creative work? It's a piece. It's my creativeness. You know what I mean? Oh, but you need to add this. You need to add this tense, add this technique. You know, and that's when writing becomes hard. It becomes hard. Now, if you have that type of mind where you just want to express yourself, you don't need creative writing classes. But if you have that type of mind where you want to write but you don't know and you've never written anything, maybe you do. So you can learn how to write. But if you just have the need to write, the love to do something creatively, you don't need a creative writing class. The only thing that I have learned is history that I can use in my writing. But
So why'd you pick English, or was this kind of like your observation after the fact?
I picked English because I wanted to go into the MFA program,
Okay.
the Masters in Fine Arts and Creative Writing.
Okay.
So that's the
So
only
that was
reason.
like your leeway into that.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. And I can see myself teaching English in the future.
So now with mangas, are there different genres of manga? Because I know it can just be fiction, and there's no judgment in terms of like how creative you can be. But is there like a genre of mangas where there's like comedy, action, horror?
Manga is just like every other medium, creative medium. You know? It's comedy and music, comedy and films, it's comedy and manga.
Okay.
You know.
So my guy TJ also asked, what's your favorite genre to create? Out of those genres, what would be your favorite genre?
What do you mean by like fiction?
So, yeah, no, like genre in terms of like comedy, horror.
Oh, in the realm of fiction.
Within the mangas. What's your favorite genre to write about? What is Greed about?
What is
if
Greed
you don't mind
about?
telling us, yeah.
Greed is about it's fun, bro. It's a manga. It's not really about anything. It's about I can tell you some plot points.
Okay.
It's about betrayal. It's all about betrayal. That's why the name is called Greed. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's about betrayal. You know, the main story of Greed that I came up with is fire though. It's about a black prince basically, and he was lied to his whole life. He was told that he couldn't basically practice his sorcery or his magic, his God-given talents, because it's evil. And that's keeping him, and it's repressing him. And now he's just trying to be accepted, and he's following all these traditions, and he wonders why no one likes him. But that sounds familiar, right?
Yeah, you want to.
but and it's fire, bro. But Greed, the manga's about now is basically just about greed and betrayal. I like writing about things that no one likes to talk about. So but I don't like writing comedy. I don't think I'm that funny. But I don't like writing romance.
Closed mouths don't get fed. If you don't spit some comedy, you don't know if you're funny or not.
True. I'm gonna try. But yeah, I just really like writing supernatural, I guess. If that's a genre. Supernatural fiction, I guess. I don't know.
So like ghosts.
Fresh boys on the track.